Reprisal is a movie that had a couple of things that interested me, mainly Frank Grillo and Bruce Willis. You know, you never really know what you're going to get with Bruce Willis, but you kind of always know what you're going to get with Frank Grillo, so I was willing to go that extra mile, meet them halfway and watch the movie and see what they were going to deliver. Frank Grillo plays a bank manager in this movie, and at the start his bank gets robbed by an extremely efficient and brutal criminal. One man takes down his full bank and gets away with a load of cash. Now, because he's a bank manager, he needs to wait on the FBI to clear him before he can return to work, and he starts to have flashbacks to this crime, starting to piece together little bits of information that he didn't catch the first time, and of course he has to talk it out. He doesn't know what to do. He's not been off work for ages, so he just has a conversation with his neighbour, who's Bruce Willis, who just happens to be an ex-policeman. And together they set up a workboard and start to try and figure out bits about the criminal, and before long Frank Grillo is chasing after this extremely trained individual. Now, the movie is kind of generic in certain points, but I had a lot of admiration for some of the things that it does tackle. The story and beats of Frank Grillo seem a little bit crazy, a little bit out there. You know, you have this bank manager who suddenly wants to get out in the street and take hand-to-hand combat, take things into his own hands and fight back against this man who kind of emotionally wrecked his life. And the one thing I did like about it was the violent criminal. You know, you get to see him plan out his robberies. He does one at the start, and then we see him in a warehouse starting to get ready for his next one. And this guy is highly trained and highly organised. So he plans everything out to a T. He has chalk marks of alleyways and streets drawn out. He knows exactly how to take things down. There's a great sequence of him with mannequins set up, like shooting them out, and to get as far into this chalk laid out map that he has, only to discover that he's used all his bullets, or he's ran out, or something's had to stop to reload. And then he goes back to the start, resets everything, changes gun, changes tactics. And it's really like one of the things that you very rarely see in these movies. You know, he is the bad guy. He is the guy we are rooting against. You know, he is the antagonist of this piece. But we spend a lot of time seeing how trained, how organised, and how well thought out his robberies are. Bruce Willis is borderline. You know, he's almost phoning it in, but not quite. And he has a great sort of mannerism about him. I like the way he talks to Frank Grillo and asks him questions about the robbery, the way a detective would. You know, the script is pretty decent in the dialogue that he uses, and the way he delivers it in an almost haphazardly way, as if he's just kind of friendly, prodding to get the information is good. Frank Grillo, as always, is pretty, you know, great. I quite enjoy the guy, and I like to see him in these kind of movies. I would like to see him a little bit more with weapons in his hands or hand-to-hand combat. He's more of a man under stress and pressure as he tries to figure out what is going on and try to stop this guy so he can clear his name and get back to work, just doing the basics. In the final third of the movie, it gets a little bit convoluted and it takes a little bit of a strange turn that you can see coming kind of early on, and it gets a little bit tense and exciting, and there is some good shootouts, and there is a good high tense sequence near the end that's very suspenseful, and you're worried for certain people in the movie. But it's a generic DTV movie. It's nothing out of the ordinary, but it's a lot better than a lot of the sort of drudge that comes out. You know, I did have a lot of fun with Reprisal. I was entertained the full way through. Once the movie was done, it's kind of one of these movies that I'm going to push out my brain and I may never go back to ever again. But then seeing that again, I may be feeling kind of crappy one day. I want a direct-to-video action movie, and this might be the one that I put back on because there's fond memories of some of the aspects of it. Anyway, I'd love to know your opinion of the movie if you've seen it, so let me know in the comment box below, the usual, you know, like, dislike, something in between, what you thought of it, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.